Goiânia in Goiás in Brazil. It is the final of the 15th World University Futsal Championship, and the host nation Brazil are in the final against their old futsal rivals Russia. Two powerhouses of the game are once again through to the final. Both teams with 100% records, and both have been scoring plenty of goals en route to the final. Same final in both the men's and the women's. We'll be showing you what happened between Brazil and Russia's women after this game. The two sides about to make their way out onto the court here. Wayne Boyce to take you through the action. Michael Skubala is alongside me, and Michael, no surprise to see Brazil and Russia as the two finalists again.
No, we saw them a couple of years ago the same, and obviously the women's have just got to the final again, so it's going to be a great game tonight, but very competitive, but these two are very strong in the university sector.
Tournament that's held every couple of years. Brazil this year, Kazakhstan in 2 years' time. A big proud moment for these young competitors, and perhaps the first step towards a genuine career in this sport. Russia and Brazil, so powerful at every level of the game. Especially poignant for Brazil, who are still the reigning world champions. Of course, it is the Futsal World Cup later this year. Brazil will be hoping to hang on to their title, and there's no question that Russia will be one of their main rivals for that. Albeit the full Russian national team is full of Brazilian players.
Yeah, the Russians were really strong at the last Euros, so I think they're going to give Brazil a good game tonight, and definitely in Colombia in a few months they'll be looking to win the tournament as well.
No doubting who they're supporting. Two sides are out, 20 minutes each way. The goals have certainly been flowing. There's the starting five for the Russians. Five 5-1 winners against the Czech Republic in their semi-final. Brazil hammered the French at a canter by 7 goals to 0, and let the truth be known, it probably could have been a whole lot more embarrassing for the French. There is Brazil's starting five. The quarter-final against Germany was a much closer affair, Brazil winning that by 5 goals to 3. There's the officials for the final. 4 games for both teams to qualify for the main match, groups of 3. Victory in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. The two captains there, the Brazilian captain Thiago Bissoni and Nikita Burukdinov is the captain for Russia. Fernando Cabral, the coach of Brazil. I suppose in a way, as the host nation, there's a bit more pressure on the Brazilian players than there is on the Russians.
Yeah, they'll be keen to get started, keen to get a touch on the ball, keen to get it moving. It's really interesting to see Germany going close to Brazil in the quarterfinals. This is Germany's first tournament in futsal. They're doing things behind the scenes quite strongly. I think this is one of their competitive tournaments, so definitely a good game there.
Yeah, it is one of the anomalies, isn't it? Sport that Germany really haven't competed at futsal at any level, but You'd imagine they'll probably be winning the World Cup in the next
Yeah, they're going to
4
break
years.
onto the scene this year internationally. So I think they've been developing the sport behind the scenes. I think this was a tournament they'd probably take some players to, because it's a good, development tournament, competition tournament that's real to tournament environments and the stress levels, playing every day, things like that. So yes, it was really interesting to see how they did in this tournament.
Interesting that there was no representation from Spain, of course, a powerful futsal nation, the full national level, but not so at university level. Johnny Gomez, the man in your picture there, the leading goal scorer with 7 goals so far for Brazil, one ahead of Thiago Gomez.
He's been really impressive this tournament, Johnny Gomez. Him and Thiago, both the Gomez, has been really, really good, especially that pivot one, scoring goals, getting on the end of things. They're going to need him tonight if they're going to turn this into a home win.
Brazil then to get us underway. Teams in the traditional colours.
Russia being really aggressive from the start there.
It was almost left short, but Putilov hacking it away from Abramovich.
Bit of an edgy start for both teams here, Wayne.
It's Thiago Bassoni, Brazilian captain. Looking to force a way through. And very nearly made the opening. It was a good block in the end to deny Johnny Gomez.
It's a great ball, a great diagonal pass. If it had shot first time now, I think he probably would have scored. I didn't think he needed that extra touch.
Shisterov it was, he was back there defending for Russia. Got the block in. For Gomez again. Decent effort.
Brilliant set piece there by Brazil. Just getting a block on, stopping defenders coming out so he could have his first touch and then try and let off that rocket.
Lively and full of confidence, the competition's leading scorer so far. It's a Brazilian corner though. Kyle Garcia with it. Here's Johnny Gomez. To Garcia. It's fouled, a free kick for Brazil. All the way through though for Italo Aurelio. Shisterov.
Saying last night when Brazil play, everyone knows them for their flair and their forward passing and the skill, but at 1v1 they're great defenders as well.
Segnev to Shisterov. Gomez. Thiago Bissoni, Gomez again. Thiago Bissoni.
It's great possession by Brazil there under pressure.
Aurelio to escape the attention of Ivan Segnev.
Brazil here just trying to stretch the game, trying to create some space. They know Russia are going to press aggressively, but they're just trying to find that top man, that pivot.
The captain, Thiago Bissoni.
Great tackle.
Segnev, Ramovic.
Russia here playing in their 3-1 as well. Both teams going with that secure pivot. Neither wants to give anything away at the moment.
Couple of minutes gone, no breakthrough yet. Brazil with the best chance. Johnny Gomez, that was well blocked by Shisterov. There is Johnny Gomez. So keeping possession. Remaining patient, and then it's
here.
given away, and a chance now. Abramovic. Good challenge though by Cal Garcia.
Brilliant play there. Just going to say the front man from the Russian defence is not quite getting enough pressure on the ball, allowing that Brazilian to pass through, to find their passes.
Lovely turn there from Thiago Bissoni. Lights are a bit bright, aren't they, on the near side of this court. Reflecting up off the pitch. There's Gomez.
It's great defending again there. Really tight, stopping any turning, stopping any wall passes. Changes are starting to come to try and keep that intensity high.
Volonkov continues his run. Russia go backwards though, and here's Davidov. Way forward, it's a decent effort, but into the back stanchion. And Davidov.
It's a good parallel pass, but I think it's got to take more than that to get past this Brazilian keeper tonight. Good tempo to start, some good ball speed here.
As you expect, certainly with much more of the ball. A lot of chasing around and closing down from the Russian players early on here.
Brilliant clearing out by the backman there. Just recognised pressure, great forward pass, and then cleared out the Russian defence. Enabled them to keep possession.
Now the foul has been given.
Thiago did really well there as a pivot. Pinned his backman. Ball travelled over distance. It looked like there was runners off him.
Clumsy by Kudiev.
Russian defender there just got pinned behind him. He really needed to be in front because there's no offsides in futsal. You really need to be in front of the defender to stop that ball coming in. But great play by Thiago Gomez there.
Brazil make it count. Fabrizio Bastazzini straight into the wall, and the follow-up presented another opportunity. You can see the delight of the Russian defenders.
Yeah, I think that's wasted a little bit there, Wayne. It looked like they were setting something up. The skipper wanted the ball. Wasteful. When you get those opportunities, you at least want to test the keeper or try and make something happen.
Niazov, good range.
Great start to the game tonight. That's come through bodies. That's a tough one to save. He's done well.
Sabolinkov with the shot. Hasn't had too much to do so far, the Brazilian goalkeeper, so it's good awareness, good concentration. Kudiev offering his hand to Venezio, wasn't interested. Niazov to kick it in.
Quite high defensively here, Brazil.
It's whipped across from Davidov, no harm done in the end.
Just saying that the Brazilians were quite high defensively there, trying to get that pressure on the ball, trying to stop that ball across, but actually if they get it wrong, it's going to open them up.
It fell kindly in the end for Kudiev, but scooped it up and no danger.
Didn't think he thought it was actually going to get to him, did he?
Venezio Baldasso. And Lucas. This is Fabrizio.
Great pressure by Russia.
They stood firm under immense Brazilian pressure early on Russia, and now they're starting to play a bit themselves.
Yeah, Brazil had a bit of the ball there, but they didn't really do anything with it. They didn't really pass forward, it was just a bit negative, so Russians will sniff that out and go after things like that, so great forward pass as well.
What can Russia work here? It's Davidov.
Another wasteful free kick, I think.
Venezio. Stazzini.
Great ball.
Held up by Thiago Gomez. Thiago Gomez again, who himself has been full of goals. It's worth the strike from Fabrizio Stazzini.
It's a great strike. I think he could have stepped onto it a bit earlier so he was a bit closer. As the ball came into the pivot and they set it back, I think he should have been on the move a bit earlier. Could have had a first time shot which would have caught the Russians off guard.
Short by Bastazzini, but then it breaks down again for Brazil, which has so often been the case.
Yeah, forced that a little bit. Brazil putting on a high press here, trying to get that ball back quickly. Really want to dominate possession here. Feel like they're having a bit more success.
One back by Shisterov. Oh, and the counter would have been on.
Oh, that's unlucky. If that ball was better, he'd have been in. I think it would have been 1-0.
Just too far ahead of Ivan Segnev. Here come Brazil at the other end.
Did enough there, the defender, just to
about.
get his body in there.
Rather unorthodox piece of defending from Artem Niazov. Almost ball surfing, wasn't he?
Keep looking for that diagonal pass into the pivot. Checks, moves off the opposite side, opens up that passing lane quite well. It's really difficult to defend, that is.
Venancio. Taken away though by Sergei Abramovich.
Great defending. Just showing how physical the game can be at this level.
Well, there's the ride he took on the ball.
Players do that at the end for a massage sometimes.
It's like one of those rollers you can buy, isn't it? Shoes of football. Cleared away by Fernando.
I think Brazil have had a bit better start than the Russians, but it's still tight. I think it's going to be tight all night. Maybe it will come down to a set piece to open it up, and as we know, goals change games, so.
Very different challenges though for Brazil. 10 against Israel, 8 against Kazakhstan, 5 against Germany, and then 7 against the French. Germany really the only test. It's blocked away comfortably by Brazil, and there's Lucas.
Set pieces have been poor tonight.
Rosensky again. Fabrizio.
Brilliant play by Fabrizio.
And he's still going. Took 2 of them to take the ball off him.
Great pass.
Fabrizio again. Skips away from a couple of more challenges, but is forced backwards.
He's great with the ball at his feet. I think that's a foul for me.
The referee's waving play on though.
Yeah, he looks at the advantage. I actually think that was quite a big foul because he was through.
In fact, Rukdanov, the player fouled.
Good refereeing.
Fabrizio. Still we await the first goal of the final.
Some tired legs out there, I think, already with this tournament. You know, only one rest day in between all the games.
Shisterov.
It's great play.
It's all getting a little bit scrappy now. Russian player involved, Sergei Abramovich. Not too happy with the reaction, I don't think, of Italo Aurelio.
Over the last few years in this tournament, it's been Brazil, Russia, and it does get quite tasty at times. In the last one at the end of the game, it got quite tasty. There's a lot of rivalry here between the two power futsal nations, if you like, especially in the university sector.
The free kick actually went the way of Brazil. Foul count mounting up a bit for Russia.
Russia doing really well there, picking off the 2-2. So when Brazil go from their 3 into a more attacking style, Russia just pick it off when they go 2-2. It needs to be quicker.
To inject a bit of pace now with Abramovich and Segnev. Abramovich, Shisterov. Closing by Brazil though, and it's given away straight away to Shisterov. It's immediately closed down by 2 players. Again, it gets a bit tasty down there. Feet flying in. This time it was Kyle Garcia who was left on the floor by the challenge of Segnev.
He went over the top of the ball, didn't he, there, as he came in. Not unusual in futsal because there's no stud.
More chance. And that was an opening opportunity there for Otello Aurelio, and Putilov did well.
Great diagonal pass into that pivot. Just checked off. Hit it first time. Probably the biggest opportunity tonight.
Gomez back in the mix for Brazil.
Yeah, that's a foul. That was great play. Really good play in tight areas. Still finding that, trying to find that pivot, and then a check and a run off it. Brazil look more likely to score at the moment, even though Russia have had a bit of the ball, bit of possession each. They haven't really tested the keeper or got high enough up court to test. Can't waste this free kick though, like they have been doing.
Russia need to be careful though, just how many fouls they're giving away. Only midway through the first period.
I think we might see Fabricio hit this. Oh, we've changed it.
It's Gomez. And Gomez scores! Well, that is what he's done throughout the whole of this competition. And he wraps in another one. His 8th of the tournament. And ultimately, giving fouls away has cost Russia. It is 1-0 for Brazil.
It's really interesting here because they tweaked their, at the last minute they changed their free kick. And the free kick had just stood enough to pull that Russian player out, to put him in 2 minds, and then suddenly it's poor defense. Well, it's a poor wall, isn't it? So, protect your goal first always. Second phases it will come, but the Russian defence there was thinking about a special setup, and in the end there was nothing special. They'll be disappointed with conceding that, but he scores goals, that man, doesn't he?
He does. 8th of the competition for Johnny Gomez. As you say, it was all too simple from a Russian point of view. It's Kudiev, Davidov. Can the Russians respond? It's Kudiev again. Opened up for Davidov's shot. It's deflected behind off the goal scorer, Johnny Gomez. It's not too much to do, Fernando Pereira.
No, he's not had a lot to do, and he's not going to have much to do if they keep shooting from there as well.
There's a chance though. It's a clever set piece. Kudiev couldn't finish it off, and now Brazil looking to profit from the counter. Here come Russia again. Oh, it's a good save this time though by Fernando Pereira.
That's a great strike. That's a great save. This game just opening up here. What strike that is. Done enough to get there, to get it away from danger as well.
Corner for Russia. It was Kudiev with the initial shots.
It's getting very physical out there.
There's a little bit of nonsense there as well. It was silly from the Brazilian captain, Thiago Bissoni. He had a little kick out there while he was on the ground.
Just before that, the Brazilians had a chance to break. I think when he turned back round, he should have kept possession.
Ball was clipped across, but absolutely nobody in there for Russia. Kudiev was the furthest forward.
A lot of teams use that block and volley type free kick at the minute. It's a low risk one, but it's got to be a worldie, I think, to score. So it's really difficult to technically get that off.
Well, the opening seemed to be there for a second for Italo Aurelio. He turned away from his marker. I was just expecting the shot. There's a chance now though for Brazil, and it's a brilliant piece of defending to clear it away.
It's really difficult to play against these Brazilians because if you stop them going 1v1, block the line, they'll play into the pivot. If you stop them into the pivot, they'll go 1v1. They're that good technically with the ball.
Initially the defender had blocked it, but it showed on the replay that Putilov stuck his leg out and made the save.
Aurelio's been superb tonight with his movement out of possession, or off the ball should I say. It's a great checking and moving. When that ball goes in, it sticks, and the Russians have got to defend.
He's down at the moment, Aurelio. Word of advice from Sergei Skorovic, the coach of Russia.
Yeah, really experienced coach, knows what he's doing. A lot of the national coaches use this as a development tournament for their youngsters coming through. A few years ago when we played Russia, that I think 5 or 6 of them played in the Euros 2 years later. So great development tournament.
It gives you some perspective of just how close these players are to the full national team. On the face of it, it seems a long way off, doesn't it? But as I say, a couple of years from this to a major tournament.
Yeah, I think you see more of the European teams getting players through the system. Sometimes not all the Brazilians actually get through the system because they've got such a strong professional league. Obviously Russia have a strong professional league as well, but some of the smaller futsal nations use this quite a lot for their development. But because Spain have a massive, professional league, they don't necessarily have the strongest university league, so you don't see a lot of players come through that system. So it differs with different cultures, different nations.
One international team, it just must be so hard to break into. It's Brazil, isn't it?
Yeah. So many great futsal players in Brazil.
Gomez.
I think we'll see him on the international stage though.
Yeah, he looks impressive, doesn't he?
He's been really good with the ball.
8 goals and counting. danger here for Russia. Kyle Garcia, touch it back to Thiago Bissoni.
Great defending there. Didn't get blocked, got out the block, managed to get his body on the line.
Johnny Gomez. And again. Do well to get out of that position, and he didn't. Now Brazil are under pressure. Davidov with the shot.
It was a great first touch by Johnny Gomez there. Chested it down and then probably did a little bit too much, but sometimes you have to allow special players to try and do special things.
Again, the set piece played out by the Russians and well blocked by Brazil. Garcia getting his body in the way this time.
Great defending. They are a little high there, the second man out for Brazil, but they just want to stop that shot early.
Whipped across. Time by Rudanov, the Russian captain.
That second defender's quite high in their 2-1-1 defending system, which opens up gaps for shots, so quite risky.
Poor delivery from the corner. Now Brazil looking to counter. May open up again, but Putilov quickly off his line.
That's great feet, great bit of skill. Nearly managed to get a pass into, I think it was Thiago or Gomez again. That would have been 2-0 definitely.
Gomez.
Superb pass. The Russians not quite putting enough pressure on the ball to stop that one that breaks the first line. Then they have to go and defend.
Garcia getting all in possession. Shistarov, Segnev.
They're not really testing the Brazil defence here. Brazil just following through in their diamond, locking onto players.
To the toe poke, but again getting it away with Benacio.
Making it 1v1 situations, the Brazilians here, and they're coming out on top massively. They're starting to get into their flow, Brazil. Trying the old flip-flop there. I think you must have to do that as a Brazilian to get in the side.
It's a Russian ball, which is quickly taken. It was quick thinking, but Rudanov couldn't control it. I'm sure that's one of many tricks that you have to do to get in the Brazilian team. An opening again.
It's a great play again. Into that pivot. Sets it off. Bit too easy just to get it into. They've got to stop it at source, the Russians, otherwise they're going to be in trouble.
Back by Lucas. Now Fabrizio. Fabrizio again. Almost fell kindly to him. Very much on top though, Brazil here. They're certainly deserving of their 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that's the dilemma when he blocked the middle there to stop that pass. He took him on 1v1 and then he killed the defending, so it's really open. So they're struggling here with the 1v1 matching up, Russia.
Fabrizio.
There's that great forward pass again. Russia haven't really found their top man when they've attacked. They've struggled to get anything off, any sets, other than counter-attacking type moves.
Shesterov. There's a promising run. It's a great chance for Sokolov.
That's a huge chance. That's probably the biggest chance of the game. I don't think he actually knew he passed it there, to be fair, because he was trying to get a shot off himself, but that's a big miss, not even to hit the target as well.
Nikita Fakhruddinov, the Russian captain that made that chance possible. As you say, Sokolov was clearly taken by surprise.
Won't get many chances like that tonight. Time out here.
Five minutes to go, but it has been 15 minutes of utter dominance from Brazil. Had a let off there though with that Sokolov chance. It could easily be 1-1.
Yeah, huge let off.
Aí fica aquele puta sacrifício pra correr, tá? Outra coisa, ó. Outra coisa. Ala pra ala. Cara por trás, a bola veio aqui, esse cara faz isso aqui, ó. Esse cara dá uma entradinha, que é pra gente já fazer o jogo de pivô. Eles estão ficando pra marcar você. Isso que eu tô falando, se vocês circularem por trás e fica o jogo 3 contra 3.
Where to clear out, to try and create space.
Outra coisa, vamos supor, o Gadeia pegou uma bola aqui.
Giving a little bit of detail around their individual movement off it.
Faz isso aqui, pra ver se ele consegue arrastar e te pegar numa diagonal.
And how it links with that top man. I feel they've done that quite well, to be fair. I think he's just looking for that extra bit to try and get shots off, so it's gone in quite a bit, but he's not quite got the set off.
There's the goal. There's a bit of a deflection on that actually took it in. Some big lads down there on that Brazilian bench. Fabrizio, Lucas will be keen to at least have a 2-goal margin to take into the break.
Russia need to be more aggressive on that when Brazil go 2-2, because otherwise they're not going to have the ball and they get very tired chasing this.
Mello, Davidov, Kudiev.
Needs to be more positive with that pass. Rather going negative when it's high, they've got to be more positive with that. Try and create something in those areas.
Russia almost getting through.
I think there's a handball the ref's given. Oh no, foul. Just look like Russia are huffing and puffing here, not really getting anywhere. But it's tight. 1-0 obviously still in the game. No panic stations yet. Saying that, the 6th foul's up.
This is a chance.
Yeah, it's a chance, but it's really tough on the 10-metre line. Obviously a lot easier when it's 6 metre. They're not as easy as they look, but I'm sure Gomez here, top goal scorer, can hit them.
Certainly the man you'd want over it.
Dilemmas, some keepers come off their line here because you're allowed to come off your line and try and narrow the angle, but if you narrow the angle, you haven't got as much time to save it, so some keepers stay, some keepers move forward off it.
Johnny Gomez.
He's creeping forward.
The advantage here. There's still 4 minutes to survive for Russia. Will not be the last one that they face before half-time.
Keepers drop as well on these, so it's quite good to go high.
Gomez against Putilov. No mistake.
Great goal.
From Johnny Gomez, and it is 2-0 for Brazil.
Great goal.
We talked earlier about the amount of fouls that the Russians were giving away would prove costly, and so it has.
That's a great finish. The power that's behind that is phenomenal, really. I think the Russian keeper there would have probably expected to do a bit better. Went to ground really early. Couldn't really move to it, but what a finish. Just loves scoring goals, didn't he, that man?
Just one away from double figures now for the tournament, and Russia with it all to do.
Definitely changed the dynamics of this game for Russia.
It's a clinical finish, wasn't it?
It's a great finish. We're just talking about how they usually go high because keepers drop. So he's actually put it low, but the keeper still drops and still not got there. But just too much power. It's harder than it looks, that is, from that distance with the small goals.
Yeah, you often see that missed at the full level.
Yeah, it's really difficult. Not many are scored, especially in pressure situations like this as well.
So often you see the top international goalkeepers tend to charge them down, don't they?
Yeah, he stayed, didn't he?
Yeah.
I thought he'd charge. Usually they charge and make themselves big, spread themselves, a bit like the old Schmeichel handball type technique. Get the block on and make it hit them, and usually that's enough.
It's been hard going this for Brazil, but they're doing enough. 2 set-piece goals from Johnny Gomez.
The difference for me at the minute, Wayne, is that Brazil are just individually better on the ball, or have been better on the ball tonight. So it's been difficult to stop them making their forward passes, but because if you do stop them, they go 1v1. Great carriers of the ball.
Once they got to the 5th foul, they were always walking that tightrope, Russia.
I can't think of many big chances for Russia either, so other than that one that came across the goal.
Yeah, the Sokolov one.
Yeah, the Sokolov one. Just shows you how good Brazil defend.
And that came about more by accident than design, didn't it? No shot that time from Shishtarov.
Yeah, I think it was an accident. So like you say, not many have not created a lot, which would be worrying for me. If I was Sergei, you don't mind if you're creating, but if you're not creating, there's things need to change out there.
Got one back before the break, Russia. They've racked up 4 fouls inside the opening 10 minutes. It's always going to make life difficult.
Yeah, a bit too quick. If you get to 4 that early, some teams will just zone and diamond off just to stop the fouls, but obviously Russia's still trying to press. Cost them a little bit. Could even cost them a game yet.
Segnev.
It's really difficult when you're on the 5th foul, the 6th foul for defenders. because they can't stop putting pressure on the ball, otherwise they get passed around. If they get too tight, obviously it's an easy one to give away. That mental state.
And the opposition players aren't going to have your cause either, are they?
No.
Backing into you and forcing a foul.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, tactically we'll put dribblers on to try and go 1v1 as well, to try and draw more fouls.
Going long this time.
Get the best dribblers, the best travellers with the ball on, go and beat players 1v1. See if you can draw that mistake, draw that foul.
Russia were really frustrated, weren't they? Because Brazil haven't scored in open play. Again, set pieces proving so crucial in this game.
Yeah, they'll be really disappointed with that first one. That's a great throw. Javelin type throw, really flat, bit of spin. If he'd have just got there another metre, I think he would have volleyed that across goal and it would have been 3-0. Great throw. Just shows how the keepers can actually set up attacks in this game, not just stop them.
Across again. What's a good effort. Plenty of power on it. Putilov may well have been struggling. Had that been on target. From Venasio.
He's been great, Venasio. Just holds that back defending role. That's the area, the back man looks after it, moves it well, shores up everything in defence. Again, nothing really there, is there, for Russia? They're struggling to create, struggling to actually get anywhere near the Brazilian D.
Just a couple of speculative long-range efforts, really, that have been nowhere near troubling Fernando Pereira.
They've not been open either, have they? The Brazilians have been between the ball and the goal.
Shisterov from Zabolonkov. Shisterov. Zabolonkov. It's a good effort. Abramovich again from distance.
Great play, because like you say, it's again from distance. It's got to beat the keeper. I'm not sure it's going to beat that keeper from here. A little bit better with the ball there. Trying to force a forward pass.
Doesn't have a lot to do, Fernando Pereira, but twice he's been called upon and twice he's made the saves.
Yeah, keepers at this level, they can be quite quiet, but you've still got a very good keeper to beat.
2 seconds to grab something back here, Russia.
И на 2 раза ищем или туда, дайте адрес ему и ему, чтобы у тебя было. Абрам, ты вот сюда. Если там все будет тесно, узко, вот
trying to draw out that second defender to open up a passing line, to then get a shot. He's going to rotate around the back of the goal. So just a special player, if you like, on the set play. Just reminding them what to do. Superb finish there by Gomez.
Yeah, you see from that angle just how accurate it was. There's barely the width of the ball to squeeze it in, and he did. Probably the last chance for Russia in this first half. It's by Shisterov.
Taken too quickly there, just needed the movement to develop. Rushed a little bit.
They've wasted a few set pieces, Russia.
Yeah, they've not done very well with their set pieces tonight. They'll be really disappointed with that, because usually they're the masters at the set piece and dead balls. He looked quite deflated at the moment on the bench. That's where Brazil have been really good. If they can't pass out, they'll get out in a 1v1. And that's the thing that's troubling the Russians at the minute.
Shistero over this. It's easily blocked away though by Caio Garcia. Story of the first half, that really, for Russia. There's Shistero. Brazil have looked stronger in all departments in the opening half of this final. Johnny Gomez was certainly the man to watch before kick-off with 7 goals in Brazil's journey to this final. He's added 2 more, both from set pieces in the first half. It's Russia 0, Brazil 2 at half-time. Welcome back. We're at half-time in the World University Futsal Championship final. Brazil, the host, comfortable at the moment, leading Russia by 2-0. Johnny Gomez, first from a free kick on 10 minutes, the second from a 12-metre penalty 6 minutes later. And it's no less than Brazil have deserved. They have been the dominant side. Well, that's the men's. One of the stars of the women's competition is Amanda Lisa.
Meu nome é Amanda Lissa de Oliveira Crisóstomo, mais conhecida como Amandinha. Tenho 21 anos, sou jogadora profissional de futsal da seleção brasileira e do Barateiro Futsal de Santa Catarina, uma região do Brasil, lá onde eu moro, mas eu sou nascida em Fortaleza, no Ceará. Bom, eu estudo na Uniaselv de Santa Catarina, ganho uma bolsa de estudos pelo meu clube, na qual eu faço parte, e é um pouco difícil conciliar o estudo, mais o esporte, mais uma vida profissional de alto rendimento. A gente treina de manhã, treina de tarde, estuda de noite. Quando eu tinha uns 9, 10 anos de idade, na verdade, desde quando eu era pequenininha, né? Eu sempre amei jogar bola, eu sempre amei chutar as coisas dentro de casa. E eu comecei a jogar no bairro onde eu morava, em Fortaleza. Comecei a jogar contra meninos, comecei a jogar na escola. Até que um dia eu comecei a jogar campeonatos e acabei sendo vista por um técnico que é bem renomado aqui no Brasil, e ele me convidou para fazer parte da equipe dele, que é o Barateiro Futsal de Santa Catarina, e já estou há 6 anos lá e jogo 6 anos profissionalmente. quando eu tinha ali os 13 anos de idade, quando eu já comecei a jogar em escola só com meninas, campeonatos, eu coloquei na minha cabeça que um dia eu seria uma jogadora profissional e no decorrer desse tempo aí foi desenvolvendo algumas habilidades que nem eu imaginaria que eu poderia ter. Mas eu sou uma menina muito feliz e realizada, tanto por um talento que Deus me deu, mas também pelo trabalho de cada dia.
After part of my success and talent is because I work hard.
Temos jogadoras fantásticas hoje no Brasil, mas a Mandinha realmente tem feito partidas incríveis pelo clube, pela seleção brasileira, que eu acho que dão mérito sim para ela ser escolhida a melhor jogadora do mundo.
Que ela treina bastante, se dedicou muito para isso e provocou alguns diferenciais, né? Entre esses diferenciais, a capacidade de resolver problemas que vão acontecendo durante o jogo e a de desequilibrar adversários pela sua questão da habilidade individual.
Tem uma forte seleção, tanto universitária quanto na seleção principal. E participar dessa seleção universitária é diferente porque aqui tu junta o esporte e a educação, é tu se formar, é tu ser educado, é tu saber que um dia o esporte vai acabar, que tu vai ser uma pessoa educada, tu vai saber como se portar nos lugares. Então eu acredito que a gente mostra que a educação também é tão quanto importante como o esporte.
Back here in Goiás, we're at half-time. Brazil are leading Russia by 2-0 in the men's final on the 15th World University Futsal Championships. Earlier today, though, it was the same two teams in the women's event, Brazil against Russia. Proud moment for both these sides, Brazil and Russia, as in the men's, the two dominant forces, convincing victories in the semi-finals. Russia beating Canada by 6-0, Brazil beating their old rivals Portugal by 5-1 to book passage through to the women's final, which took place just before the men's event that we are currently enjoying. That's the starting five for the Russians. Popiolski, Adair Popiolski, coach hoping to guide Brazil to success in the women's competition that they won 2 years ago. Evgeny Kuzmin, the man in charge of the Russians. Both teams in changed strips. Brazil in the dark blue. And Renata Adamati setting up Deborah Vanin. Anastasia Ivanova, though, making the save for Russia. Brazil with all the early chances. Ivanova, the busier of the goalkeepers again. Diana Marcolan with that effort. Despite a dominant first half for the Brazilians, it was 0-0 at half-time. Into the second half though, Ivanova again proving to be the player of the match for the Russians, denying Renata Adamati. Not for the first time. Save though proved costly for Ivanova, the Russian goalkeeper, who landed heavily on a knee. Needed treatment with the ice pack. And Brazil taking the leads. Renata Adamati finally getting the better of the Russian goalkeeper. Elizaveta Nikitina setting up Adamati for the goal. Just one goal though was all it took. Brazil were dominant. Scoreline didn't really tell the full story. Brazil's women retaining the university title, beating Russia by 1-0. So are we on for a Brazilian double? It's certainly looking that way at the moment. Brazil leading Russia by 2-0. Johnny Gomez, the undoubted star of the tournament so far, with both the Brazilian goals separating the two sides. Russia certainly have an awful lot of work to do in the second half to deny the Brazilians that double. Brazilian supporters certainly seem happy enough. Why wouldn't they be? A country that has enjoyed so much success at all levels in futsal, current reigning world champions. Fair to say, a little too soon for any of these players to make it to Colombia. Johnny Gomez might fancy his chances, but that would be some step up in such a short space of time.
Yeah, I think if they were in the squad, they'd probably be there already, probably training or something. So I think it's probably one tournament too early for Mr. Johnny Gomez, but it is a real big step up for some of these young players. But he's definitely one that I think we'll see on the international scene in the next few years.
He's looking to follow in the footsteps of the great Falcao, of Brazil's World Cup winning squad 4 years ago. Keeps retiring and returning, doesn't he, Falcao?
I think he gets invited to go and fly the futsal flag all over the world, so he's unbelievable talent. Great ambassador for the game as well.
Teams slowly but surely making their way out then for the second half. How do Russia turn this around?
Yeah, just thinking about that myself, Wayne. I think that they've definitely got to try and be more positive in the final third, if you like. So when they do get into high areas, they've got to get that ball in behind the strong Brazilian defence. So they've got to certain areas and they've just not been able to take that extra risk, which they really need to do.
It couldn't have been a more straightforward first half for Brazil.
I think you'll see a few minutes with Russia trying to get back in this game. If they don't get back in the probably first 6-7 minutes, I think we might see the fly a bit earlier tonight, because they have struggled really to create some big openings.
Have they shown Brazil too much respect in some ways, or have Brazil just not let them settle?
I think Brazil have just not let them settle. I think Brazil have been brilliant defensively tonight, and I think probably Russia aren't quite firing on all cylinders as well, but that's what happens in performances, isn't it? That's what happens at top level. You've got to be on it if you're going to go and win things.
False start. Johnny Gomez eager to get in there and grab another goal to complete what would be a memorable hat-trick.
I struggle to see a Russian game changer in there tonight. You know, when you see one player that looks like they can really change the game for them. They're all great futsal players, technically good, understand the game, but that Johnny Gomez, that Fabrizio type person that sometimes you can't coach, you don't want to coach because they can change the games. They need to attack with more speed as well than they did do in the first half, Russia. Seemed like they got to a certain stage up the court and then they came back again and, you know, really didn't penetrate much beyond that last Brazilian defender.
To be a bit more patient with some of their challenges as well. Foul count mounted up extremely quickly in the first half. It really did cost them. Fifth foul produced the opening goal. 12-metre penalty from the subsequent sixth foul resulted in the second.
That was a bit better, a bit more risk taking there, but at least they're trying to take that risk when they can. That's going to make the Brazilians defend.
The turn and shot, forcing the save from Fernando. It was good work from Sergei Abramovich.
It's a great save. That's coming from nowhere, really. But it was, again, the Russians weren't quite taking that forward pass, that forward run early enough to
clipped in again
to create any chances. So when it goes into that top man, they've got to get runners off it, otherwise they're not going to make the Brazilians defend.
Good hit though by Abramovich. He had no right to hit the target from there.
Yeah, it was a good strike.
On its way into the top corner.
It did seem like I can't do anything else but strike it type thing. I'd expected the ball player to get a run off him there.
Gomez will get another chance. Thiago Bissoni. Force backwards again though.
That was an unbelievable pass there into the top man. The weight of it was phenomenal.
That's Thiago Bissoni to Johnny Gomez.
Thiago Bissoni there. Some superb passing with that wand of a left foot.
Abramovich. Rudinov and Sokolov. Rudinov. It's a foul.
Great pressure by Brazil just before that. Didn't he really need to give the foul away, but they're pressing here, Brazil. Following runners quite aggressively as well. Making it look like Russia are forcing every forward pass. They probably just need to move the ball quicker, try and open those passing lines and then move it forward, but it's just a bit slow from Russia here.
Abramovich. Rudinov finding his target with his pass and Sokolov couldn't rescue it. Brazil back in possession. Johnny Gomez.
Brazil are making Russia look ordinary here, and they're far from ordinary. It just shows how well they're playing.
It's a Brazilian ball. Bissoni knocking it in, Russia get it away, and can Sokolov launch a counter here for Russia?
What a ball again. Yeah, what a ball again that was.
Abramovic.
Again, finding that pass in between defenders, but not finding a pass beyond that last defender. Breaking the first line, but not getting anywhere near breaking the second or even the ultimate line of defence, if you like.
Abramovic. Touch back, and again, one of those long-range efforts from Shishtarov that went nowhere near the Brazilian goal.
Yeah, it's not worked well enough there. It's too obvious as well.
That's what they've resorted to really in open play. Not at any point have they looked like genuinely cutting through the Brazilian defence. And I suppose in many ways Russia could say the same. Brazil have dominated the game, had a lot of the ball, but haven't really created a great deal in open play.
No, I think they've had probably, you know, 2 or 3 half chances, if you like. But again, not created a lot. But probably a few more than the Russians.
Bassoni played across. Johnny Gomez trying to stab it goalwards. He's gathered though by Vespagli.
Good set piece that was the Sergei set piece that he was trying to get off before half time. The Brazilian just threw it straight back at them.
Changing goal for Russia. By Lucas. Mayazov. And again. Good pressing from Brazil.
Yeah, it's great pressure. Russia are trying to play in sort of a 4-0 and trying to draw out the Brazilian defenders, but they haven't got that forward pass. That, you know, the reason they're trying to draw them out is to create that space in behind, because they haven't managed to get in behind, but they've not even found that forward one to try and get in behind.
Ignacio. It's given away, and now Davidov played it through, and he just couldn't find Artem Niazov. Great position for Russia, but they couldn't take advantage.
That's a big chance. That final ball just hasn't been good enough. If that was better, that should be a goal. Again, just not good enough in the key areas.
Volonkov. Niazov.
It's a foul. Just that individual execution, isn't it, that's let them down tonight, Russia.
Yeah, 1 or 2 key passes at key moments. Haven't hit the mark. Volonkov. Volonkov again, now an opening for Davidov. He just seemed to take an extra touch, and then by the time it came to Kudiev, it was well blocked.
I don't get that. They haven't tested the keeper much tonight, and they had the opportunity to let off a shot first time. Waited really well.
Oh, it's Davidov. Block again by Fernando. That's better though from Russia. It's a good spell. And here comes Lucas.
A lot better. But just saying, Wayne had the opportunity to let off a rocket first time. It was a good weighted pass and decided to have that extra touch. You don't get that chance at this level.
It's back to the goalkeeper, Fernando. He has been called upon, has done well. Zavolnikov, now Davidov. that a foul?
You don't get many opportunities in futsal or 11-a-side, you know, in the 6-yard box to have 2 touches because the defenders get back, keepers smother it. He should have struck that first time. I think it would have been a goal if it had gone back across the keeper as it came in with his favourite right foot. I'd be very frustrated if I was coaching that tonight because that's a big chance. 2-1, they're right back in the game, but let's see if they can get something special off this set piece.
So quick, isn't it? The moment you hesitate, it's gone. Alexander Davidov fancies this, a 3-man Brazilian wall at the moment for Fernando Pereira.
They're just going to offset that wall. They might rotate off this.
Davidov leaves it and it's been fired into the back of the net by Nikolai Shishtarov. And Russia are back in the game at 2-1.
Not sure what happened there. I think he was going to try set piece in the last minute. He changed his mind. And I think it was because the wall started to creep and roll. If you have a look at the wall here. Well, that's interesting. No, they left the keeper to do it, but the keeper obviously was moving. Soft set piece.
Wasn't too dissimilar to Brazil's opening goal, was it, from Johnny Gomez?
No, definitely a game changer that, because the keeper's not done enough really. And he was moving as it came out. I didn't know why he was going to put a block on, set himself, because while they're moving, they've got the other opportunity for it to go past or under.
Has been better from Russia in the opening 6 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, been a lot better. It's funny, isn't it, Wayne? Because sometimes you can overcomplicate your defending duties rather than actually thinking about just getting a block in and making them move. You think about the second phase as players, and really you've got to defend that first phase. And there's sort of so much thinking of the second phase. I think the keeper was. He forgot about actually defending the goal.
Rulinov plays it in, and that was a decent strike as well from Ruslan Kudiev.
Yeah, it's a great strike. They're having a little bit of a wobble here, Brazil, aren't they?
Just need to find that composure again.
Better pressure by Russia. A lot better pressure. I think if they'd done that from minute 1, they'd be in a better situation. Good little fly sub there as well. It's another foul.
And they've taken it quickly, and it's a really good save again from Fernando.
That's brilliant play by the Russians. They're definitely in a better frame of mind this second half. It's a soft foul to give away by Thiago Gomez as well.
It's a really poor challenge, right through the back of Abramovich.
Rocking up the foul count here, Brazil.
They didn't concede a foul in the first half, and I'll make that 3 now.
It's funny how the tides can change quickly in futsal. 1 minute you can think you're quite comfortable, the next minute you're on edge.
It's Dmitry Budin.
Momentum is definitely in Russia's favour here.
It's a very different game now. It's like the two sides from the first half have changed kits. Abramovich. See the belief just flood into the Russian players once that ball hit the net from Shishtarov.
pressure has been a lot better. For me, that's the thing that's really changed the game at the minute, is that Russia's pressure has just been superb compared to the first half. So that means Brazil have less of the ball. If they have less of the ball, they start to get frustrated and obviously can't do their damage with the ball.
By Gomez, it's a risky challenge from Rudinov, but he gets away with it.
It's a strong one. I think he'd have gone in the book if there'd been any later than that. But again, good aggressive pressure, good intensity to the defending.
Turn from Fabrizio. Into trouble though, and it's just launched away by Ruslan Kuriev. He'll be much happier.
Yeah, definitely.
Fabrizio to Thiago Bissoni. Johnny Gomez.
We haven't seen him a lot this half so far, Mr. Johnny Gomez. Just shows you how well Russia are doing. So with this 4-0 system, they're just moving the Brazilians a bit more than they'd like. And obviously creates...
Davidov with the shot, and it's wide of Fernando's goal.
A bit more space behind, so that's giving opportunities for Russia to get these shots off, to get these forward passes off.
Bissoni just need to settle down again, Brazil. Been backs to the wall really in this second half, particularly since Russia got that goal back through Shistov. There's Johnny Gomez, we've been for an entertaining last 10 minutes. Johnny Gomez in behind, and it was a good block by Bespalyi, the goalkeeper who replaced Putilov at half-time.
Yeah, they were just calling for a pass back then. It's a great save, that is. He did well just to make himself big.
All round, wasn't it? Bit cool though to change the goalkeeper at half-time, unless there was an injury to Putilov.
Yeah, I think there must be an injury.
He knows that the next goal is absolutely crucial in this final. It was almost too comfortable for Brazil in the first period. Fabrizio.
Been really pressed with Fabrizio tonight. Really good traveller with the ball. Really comfortable.
Johnny Gomez. That's a great delivery. It was just behind the captain, Thiago Bissoni. I think thought about the spectacular overhead and realised it was too far away from him.
Trying the Edu Lima. Again here, Russia trying to draw out that Brazilian defenders. And then charging behind to get those runners. There it is. That's the one they're after.
Fernando came out and did enough to get in the way, but he showed why he played in goal with that clearance. And Russia very nearly cutting through again with Artem Niazov.
Yeah, it's interesting here. As Brazil get a little bit more tired, they're starting to let runners go. Lose them off the shoulder, and that's what's causing Russia to have a few more opportunities.
More energetic at the moment as well. Gomez. He's challenged by Sebnev. Take it quickly.
Couple of cheap fouls there by Russia on the spin. Even up the foul counts a little bit, or close to it. Great feet. He's brilliant with the ball at his feet, isn't he?
He really is.
I think he's in trouble and gets out of all these tight areas really, really well.
Yellow card for Andrei Zabolonkov. Minutes to go. Leading by 2 first-half goals to Nikolai Shisterov's second half strike. Johnny Gomez over this though for Brazil. Captain Thiago Bizzoni is in the area, but it's cleared away easily by Abramovich. A poor set piece in the end from Brazil. Full wide Fernando was going for goal. Abramovich to Segnev. Poor touch from
Poor touch, yeah, it was a great ball. Was a poor touch. I think he had more time than he thought there.
Fernando, oh, now that is late from Segnev.
That is a late one. Definitely a booking.
I make that the 4th Russian foul as well, so
looked quite nasty that.
I think a tightrope again. Yeah, he caught him, didn't he? The trailing leg.
He didn't need to do that. That's frustration. Frustration because they want the ball and they can't get it in a minute. They had that little spell, didn't they, Russia? But Brazil has sort of weathered it, if you like.
I feel they need another one though, Brazil. Thiago Bizzoni, Johnny Gomez. 2 yellow cards for the Russians in quick succession for Zabolonkov and Segnev, and the foul count going from 0 to 4 in a matter of minutes.
It's great from the skipper there, getting in the middle, being brave, looking for those 1-2 passes.
Sokolov. Abramovich.
Then Russia trying to make those forward runs. Going a 4-type-0 formation to try and dart in behind.
Sokolov blocked. It's been a much more intriguing final than it was looking at the end of the first half.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering how long Sergei will leave it till he has a go maybe with the fly, but there's a few minutes left for Russia to try and get back in this on their own.
Thiago Bizzoni. Johnny Gomez, really quiet second half. Again, Thiago Bizzoni. Looking for this 3rd goal again. They lost their mojo for a bit, haven't they?
Yeah. That's the Batman that says highest player as the Russians have rotated round. He's had to play as that top man. He's not as comfortable there.
Off.
Again, they're just trying to suck out that Brazilian defence.
Well defended by Brazil. just a bit hesitant in possession.
There's more chances in this, I think, for Russia. Brazil are starting to look tired as Russia keep making those forward runs. They've got to track every one, otherwise it could be a goal.
Really not with the set piece, but false alarm. Kudiev takes it over, but ran straight into Johnny Gomez. Coaches deep in discussion. Shake of the head. Not exactly to plan in the second half.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be too pleased with the second half, especially now. It wasn't as tight, was it, at half time? But I just feel like they've got a bit of magic in them, though. Still, Brazil.
Still waiting for a goal from open play in this final. All three have come from set pieces and one a 12-metre penalty. Bramovic. Oh, foul by Johnny Gomez.
Yeah, that's a foul. He stood him up really well, flat-footed him. That's a tired forwards tackle, I think.
I'll make that 4 fouls each now. 7.5 minutes still to go.
I think you call that a Scholes tackle. Now out in India, having a go at futsal.
Yeah, there's one or two out there, isn't there? Andrei Shevchenko apparently is well involved in that.
Yeah, there's one or two of the big football stars trying to promote the Indian Premier Futsal League. It's great to see. I'm not sure they know what they let themselves in for, though, at the top level of futsal.
Just as well as rotating subs. Now Davidov. Can they work here? They've worked it well. That was a good save in the end by Fernando. It's a really good set piece, that, from Russia.
The game craft on that set piece was brilliant. Absolutely great game craft off that. It looked like he was going to strike it and just chopped across it just to make it go into the path of the oncoming player. Probably should have done better, really, because he had that much time.
Bozzoni is down. He took that full on to the face from close range. That was the initial shot from Kudiev.
Just didn't quite sit nicely, did it? If it was on the floor, I think it would have been better.
Spectacular save from Fernando Pereira. They habit goalkeepers, don't they, sometimes, of making it look more spectacular than it needs to.
The camera saves.
Still down it. It's a pretty hefty shot to take in the face, isn't it, from close range at this level? Plenty of power in the ball.
Yeah, you know, these balls are hard, aren't they? They travel 7 times quicker on average at the top level than a football. You take one of them, you're going to know about it.
Back of the head, yeah.
Mind you, the keepers seem to deal with it, so... Oof.
It's denser than a football, isn't it?
Yeah. Denser than football. Creates that speed, but also the hardness, if you like.
Still was a block for the team from the Brazilian captain. Just under 7.5 minutes to go. It's lead Russia by 2 goals to 1. What has developed into a really intriguing final. Oh, the goalkeeper's lost it! And how on earth has Davidov not equalised there for Russia?
Oh my God, I've seen the keeper celebrating. I'm not sure why he's celebrating though, because it wasn't the best keeping in the world, but how has he missed that?
Well, that is the miss of the whole competition.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think he quite realised where he was, I don't know.
If Russia lose this, it'll be quite a few nights, I think, before Davidov gets to sleep again. Another good chance. Fernando just getting something in the way, but they're beginning to live just a little too dangerously here, Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil being a bit edgy here. Look, the coach trying to calm them down, but it's so difficult when they're in that situation where they're a bit on edge.
That is one of the worst misses that you'll see at any level of the game from Davidov.
It's like he was falling over the ball or something, but it's a huge miss.
Look at this again, what a chance. I love the sympathy as well. It's a bit like celebrating your opponent's double fault in tennis, that, isn't it? There's Davidov. Counts again for Russia. Once more, Fernando's blocking, and
it's the first time we're seeing the Brazilians really get flustered when they're defending.
They are all over the place at the moment. Russia certainly looking the more likely to grab the next goal.
I think because Russia have been playing in that 4-0 and really driving off the players, the Brazilians are quite tired. And mentally as well as physically now. Maybe a little bit of gamesmanship here, just to calm everything down.
Which is all well and good on a rolling clock, but in futsal the clock just stops.
No, I know, it's just trying to kill the momentum really, but
trying to do their bit as well, the Brazilian supporters that are in here. This has certainly been Russia's second half, and a chance of prolonging this final if they can find an equaliser. The play certainly deserved it, and they should be level. Bearing in mind that Davidov miss. As though his legs wouldn't do what the brain was telling them to.
That's tired legs after so many games in, I think it's 8 or 10 days.
Yeah, it's quite an intense tournament, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great tournament. It's a great intense tournament for these youngsters trying to get into the international setup. So many great games, so many tough games in a short amount of space.
4 games to reach the final, 2 group matches, 2 knockouts.
You know, learning to live on the road, learning to prep for each game quickly, turning around the tactics, turning around the analysis. It's great for staff and great for players because it's so intense.
No foul there, which was a relief for Russia because it would have been their 5th. Brazil on the counter with Fabrizio. Can he work that piece of magic? He very nearly went through all on his own, and then it's a poor piece of control from Venazio at the other end. Russia looking to profit. It's a good block by Fernando to deny Niazov. It's all getting frantic, and how have the officials worked this one out? Could have gone either way, this foul.
Great bit of skill there at the other end by Fabrizio. Superb feat. He's been really impressive. Everything but the goal there, and then You can see players how tired they are trying to track back, and then it's just creating a really open game now. Great bit of skill. Great defending, actually, that was. Put his body on the line just to stop that going in.
Make that 5 fouls now for Russia. They're on 4. The fouls could prove crucial with just under 6 minutes to go. Really could go either way. I think he thought it was going to be a straightforward evening's work, the Brazilian coach, Fernando Cabral.
Yeah, if you look at them going in at half-time, they were really comfortable, weren't they? And then Russia have just been so much better this half.
Sometimes you can be too comfortable, it just lulls you into that false sense of security, and then that combined with the other team stepping it up make all the difference.
Yeah, I think sometimes a 2-0 score line is harder to hold than a 1-0. Because maybe the players do just step off the gas a little bit.
It's the manner of the 2-0 as well. It's a comfortable 2-goal lead in terms of the way Brazil were dominating the game. Sometimes you can have a close game, but you just take a couple of chances.
Yeah.
And it was 2 going on 4, really, the way Brazil were playing. Not so since half-time, though.
Brazil are struggling to track players here, so it's really interesting that the Russians are trying to get in that space behind. I think there's more fouls in this game, Wayne.
Yeah, that could be the crucial factor.
I have a feeling Russia are the ones committing it.
Just too much pace on that for Fabrizio. Looks a standout player, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Seen too much of Johnny Gomez, really, apart from the goals. Here's Fabrizio again. The chances came, he certainly took them. Johnny Gomez. Kyle Garcia. By Venezia. This is Kyle. Possession and wind that clock down, Brazil.
Russia looking really tired as well here.
Garcia. Brazil looking for that
great
killer
first touch.
3rd goal.
Yeah, just winding the clock down here, hiding the ball from the Russians.
Garcia.
Trying to buy a foul there, I think.
Not given though against Rudinov.
Good refereeing.
Don't have the benefit of a foul counter for this match, so we're doing our best. I make it 5-4 for Russia at the moment. So the next foul for Russia could prove crucial, and it's as though they're ready to fly now as well.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that fly keeper very, very soon. Be really interesting actually, because obviously the Brazilians will be quite tired. So I think if he gives Russian the players a bit more time with it, I think it could cause some real issues.
Sokolov from Segnev. Segnev again. Trying to open them up. Niazov. Abramovich on the outside, but well defended by Venazio. Comes up with the ball.
Abramovich has been really impressive this half. Really strong figure that they've been getting the ball into well, causing those issues, creating those, if you like, or getting those fouls as well.
Still they're holding off on the fly. Shisterov is primed and ready to come on. There's Niazov.
I think we're going to see him come in.
It's a waste from Niazov.
Yeah, just forced.
Thiago Bazzoni, given away by Johnny Gomez.
Thiago Bazzoni's been brilliant when that ball's gone into him. He's got such a sweet left foot.
Kudiev.
Here we go.
And he's on. Shisterov is on. 2.5 minutes. Will the fly work for Russia?
Playing at the house at the minute. Looking for that block. Brazil floating from a diamond to a 2-2.
It's played through. Great opportunity for Niazov, and now Johnny Gomez looking to counter. He just went for the extra touch past the defender.
Thought he was going to shoot it then. I think he would have scored. He just couldn't quite get his foot from under the ball, I think. You can see Russia scoring here.
2 minutes remaining.
It looked a bit too easy to get that ball into the middle of the diamond. They're going from a diamond to a box, but it looked too easy to just get that ball into the middle. So if they don't sort that out, I think they could concede here.
So just 2 minutes away from a men's and women's double. The University Futsal Championships, the women's team beating Russia 1-0 earlier on this evening. Utterly dominated that game though. Brazil dominated the first half, but the second has been a much, much better contest. Johnny Gomez.
Yeah, it's been a great half of futsal this.
In fact, Brazil have hung on, let the truth be known. Russia have had some good chances, and that Alexander Davidov open goal from literally 2 yards out at the moment is looking costly. Less than 2 minutes. Gomez. It's given away though.
I think we'll just see that fly straight away again. Interesting there, swapping the pivot for that Batman. Venancio really good at defending wide areas.
Brudanov. There's the fly, Shisterov. It's blocked by Johnny Gomez, and every block, every tackle is celebrated now by Brazil.
Probably a bit forced for me that. I think Russia, when they moved it earlier, they really did create some problems. Russia having a timeout here, Russia.
This is where futsal really comes into its own, isn't it? The tension of these
final
dying seconds.
The emotional state. I tell you what's really good for players is how they deal with this mentally. So I think the learning you can get from it, you know, if a player's going from futsal to 11-a-side, the mental strength that you have to have in futsal is that it's always on a knife edge. One mistake here defensively and it could be a goal. Also the patience in the passing, it's, you know, You imagine kids playing this, they're going to learn to game manage a lot better than having an 11-a-side game where actually it can be 1-0 but you can get nowhere near the goal still. But this overload, this extra player creates this situation where it's just tension.
One error from either side can prove so costly. And that is the goal that's put it in the balance. Shisterov, the player who's currently donning the fly goalkeeper jersey. 96 seconds to go. Actually, that can be a lifetime in this sport. We've seen 2 goals scored in that time.
Yeah, definitely a long time. But when you see some other nations, you know, that fly straight away, it's because of that mental strength that you need to be able to defend a fly in the right way for the right amount of time.
Sort of to Shisterov. Shisterov again from Niazov. Astarov, who made that block earlier on Johnny Gomez. He looks set to score. And Shisterov. He's worked so hard to close them down. Back from Niazov. Shisterov was almost given away. Russia have worked the chance, and it's a great save from Fernando.
It's a great save. That is a world-class save. That is world-class, because that was a great ball to the second post. Should have been a goal. I think there's more chances in this.
Ruslan Kudiev, the player denied for Russia.
Brazil heavily closing the middle here. It's just giving that opportunity to go round.
Shisterov.
Trying to force a 3 in line here. Russia going from that.
Shisterov again. Asadov, Shisterov.
Into a 2-1-2, rotating players really well.
Asadov. Shifting the ball terrifically well, Russia, but Niazov couldn't control, and Brazil have 30 seconds left.
I think they may have done enough there. They defended that last phase really well, Brazil.
Here they come again though, Niazov. Whatever happens here, Russia have left it all out there in this second half. Azadov. Shisterov. Azadov. Somebody needs to go for goal here.
Yeah, they've got to move the ball quicker. I think it's
Shisterov.
It's all over.
Rudinov. Shisterov. Maybe a chance. It's cleared away, but that is it. Brazil have completed the futsal double, but my goodness, they were made to work for it here by Russia, who really showed their quality in the second half. You can see what it means to the Brazilian goalkeeper, Fernando Pereira. But Michael, they were really forced to work for that.
Yeah, it's great defending there by Brazil in the end. They didn't have the best of second halves. I think Russia did have a better second half, but obviously in the first half they were really dominant. It's a game of 2 halves, but I think towards the end there, they just showed how well they can defend as a group, as individuals. And for me, that last save, a minute and a half into the fly, just shows how important the keeper is as well. Fantastic play.
Absolute delight for the Brazilians, who looked as though they were coasting to victory after the opening 20 minutes, but credit Russia. They produced a fabulous second half, and but for a terrible miss from Davidov, may well have forced it into an extra period. Brazil have won it. Welcome back. Scenes of Brazilian celebrations here. They have beaten Russia by 2 goals to 1 to complete a futsal double here at the World University Futsal Championships. And once again, they have left their mark on the rest of the world, that they are still the nation to beat at this sport. He certainly played his part as well. Fernando Pereira, the Brazilian goalkeeper. Let's take a look back then on just how Brazil have claimed this title. And after the first half, you would have said it was only going one way because Brazil were utterly dominant, and it took Russia a long, long time to settle down into it. They were giving away too many fouls. And they were punished midway through the half by the leading scorer, Johnny Gomez. And they'd have been frustrated, Michael, the way they conceded that one.
Yeah, it's a soft goal to concede. I think, you know, when they'll look back at this game, Russia, they'll be really disappointed with the goals they've conceded. And you know, goals change games, and tactically they were doing okay before that, but it's a soft one. But it just shows you the detail that's needed in futsal, because it's just one step to the right cost them a goal, really. He's been brilliant this tournament.
Didn't quite make it to double figures. He was on 9 going into the half-time break, but didn't create an awful lot in the second half. Brazil, the 6 fouls cost Russia. They racked up 4 of them inside 10 minutes. So it was inevitable, really, that they would give 2 more away, and Johnny Gomez making absolutely no mistake.
It's a great finish. They're harder than they look, those 10-metre penalties. Still some distance in the small goal, but the power and the placement, if you like. Great goal.
You're saying he stayed back. He did sort of venture off his line,
yeah,
didn't he?
A little bit.
It's a really good hit from Johnny Gomez.
He was in that area where this foot was in between his foot and his sort of hand.
Russia got back into the game though. Shisterov.
Tell you what, it's funny there, because I was just saying the keeper there, he looked like he was trying to organise things, and at the last minute decided to come out. It's another soft free kick, really.
He's passed him before he moved, the goalkeeper. Good hit from Shisterov, and that was deserved at that point in the game as well for Russia. But what we didn't see was the awful miss from Alexander Davidov. You struggled to see a worse miss than that. He was literally a couple of yards out with the goal at his mercy, but lost his balance, scooped it wide, and he's going to be feeling pretty low tonight.
Yeah, he will be. I think all in all, if you take the game in itself, I think Brazil just did enough to edge it. I think they've just done enough. They've got that technical ability, some real good game craft. You know, I think the skipper, Thiago Bissoni, obviously Mr. Gomez, and they've just got those players that could really change a game when needed.
Out of your view at the moment, they've got a giant selfie stick taking a video on one of their phones of the celebrations. Now, there you go. Modern way of celebrating success, isn't it?
I'm sure there's enough photographers there if they wanted a photo.
Yeah. They want one of their own. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. Well done to Brazil, champions in the men's and the women's. For myself, Wayne Boyce and Michael Skubal, until next time, it's goodbye.